Hello, this is Jalen Buck 1988 back again for another review. This time on another interesting classic, which is a classic anime, Murder Princess. And it comes in the one disc form, and the story goes that she's a princess from Forland, and their kingdom is under attack by the person that was doing research, the scientist that was doing research, and he wanted to change everything, so just a minute, let me make sure my plug is correct. And yep. Anyway, they killed the king, and one of the maids dresses as the princess and is killed. But she escapes and runs into a couple bounty hunters who are like, okay, and they find out that the two other hunters who are there are old abandoned relics that were created to work alongside humans, and and they come back, but she runs into the other main character and falls off a cliff. And while they're in suspense in midair, they somehow survive, but their souls come out of their bodies because they're both maintaining death at the similar point or same time. But somehow the soul, because they know they're going to survive, happens to come back into the body, but messes up, somehow putting his soul in her body and her soul in his body, and she asks him for help and says, I'll go back to the castle and work everything out. So, but that's the basic story of this is the whole story. Them going and fighting all these guys through the castle and eventually fighting the end of the war. To the end of the war. However, the only way to do it is to seal the gate that held the technology that the doctor was researching after the doctor had died. And they made the choice. Her brother wanted to stop it. And she's like, no, we're gonna do this anyway. But the fake queen, or the fake princess now, since he knows that she's not real, but the real princess gave up the entitlement to the throne and is going to be a servant. But he ends up sending them to their grave along with a few others because of the seal being reposed, and the royal bloodline has to have one person sacrifice themselves to maintain the seal, and it's like they do this, and it's all the machine tech that was created then dies. So, yeah. She seals it, and they die. And they're all put in, yeah. But the idea that it was meant to be, that the seal remains, that the tech is too dangerous for humanity to handle. Which you would see some of the stuff that we have today in this ideal as like Osmo, maybe a little more thing of advanced more than Osmo, but that can move on its own, think on its own, and be easily repaired. They thought was too dangerous in the DVD, so they basically put it out. And the characters, though, you didn't get any sense of development, although by him you did, because he learned what it was like to be royalty, and she learned what it was like to learn to fight for what you have, that you can take out. If you actually try, you can take out a monster that is bigger than you. She learned, instead of being like a princess, that now you have to fight and stand up for what is. But the only other thing, the quality of the DVD was okay. You saw some development in the characters, not a lot. And you saw some things here or there that said, okay, fine, we can do this. And that, the characters learn from each other, but overall, unless you're into, like, the scenes of gore, blood, and seeing a lot of, like, killing, and the idea that it's a girls' movie, kind of. It's kind of a girls' movie, kind of, like, unless you're a guy who's into, like, the idea of having, like, a queen or princess take on the role of, like, a fighter. That's up to you. So, yeah. That's basically the whole gist of the... And I gave this one a rating of... Well, character development aside, the interaction of the characters, the movie itself, and the genre of the movie and enjoyability, I give this one a 5.75 out of 10. So, for me it was more of a, because I gave it a higher enjoyability rate, but the others I gave fairly low scoring, subtracting all the negatives about the video and that it was, the only downside to it was that they should have had more. They should have had like an entire story on this, how this came to be. They should have had a backstory. And the company that produced it, Funimation, released it, and it's like, they only made 6 episodes of it. So, it really, if you want to buy it, go ahead. It's like 19 bucks. Unless it's a unless you get it at a deal, which it's only it's 16 bucks after tax, shipping, and stuff like that, but for the most part, I give it a 5.75 out of 10 again. If you enjoy it, fine. You might rate it a little higher than I did, but I'm trying to do this as a independent person, not influenced by anyone else. Me watching the DVD first. So, yeah, good luck. See you next time for another review.